Okay. So, hey, welcome everyone. This is the 7 Steps to Course Creation workshop. Yeah, we did this yesterday and we got another round of it. In fact, today's going to be better than yesterday. I'm going to tell you why. Hey, Manny.
What's up, guys?
Hey, we don't have quite the voluminous turnout we did yesterday, at least not yet, but that's okay.
I am literally about to resend out to our registration, so they have not gotten the reminder, most likely.
All right. It's cool. So anyway,
it's coming in.
I thought yesterday went well. We're going to more or less do the same thing, but I did learn a few things yesterday, and I added them to the presentation, to the slide deck. So it's all good. Anyway, Jan is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Bob was actually on yesterday. He's a veteran. He could do this in his memory now. All right, here we go. 7 Steps to Course Creation. This is me, Steve Green. I am in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. I put my phone number there because I am about just direct stuff. You want to get a hold of me? Just text me. Don't go to LinkedIn. I mean, you could. I'm on LinkedIn. Don't go to Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You want to get a hold of me? Just either call me or message me. Very, very simple. So I'm going to start by just telling you a quick story. In fact, since I can, there we go. Angie's back. So this is a book. This is a book, hardcover or soft cover paper book. I wrote this book and published it in 2015. Okay. Why did I write this book? Because I saw a need. Topically, there was a need. My day job, as it were, is in the education and training space. I spend most of my time helping people learn something or helping people master something or helping people get a skill. So I was working with a lot of high school and middle school students, and they frankly had very, very poor study skills. Didn't have good time management, didn't have good information management, didn't just know how to create anything for themselves in terms of a process. So I wrote this book, and it addresses those things: how to manage your time, how to manage information, how to have a daily action plan for success, all sorts of stuff. And I was all proud of myself. Hey, I wrote a book. I published it. I got it printed. I even had cover art. And I had an agent. I went on a little book tour. It was pretty cool. And I sold a lot of the books. And it's pretty cool because you get a royalty when you sell a book. And I was making a little bit of cash with it. Well, one day I got a phone call. And the phone call was from a school district in New Jersey, which is across the river from me in beautiful New Jersey. Anyway, they said, listen, we have your book. We like it. We want to bring you in to do an assembly presentation. I said, awesome. When is it? It's Monday. It was in 5 days. So I said, sure, I'll take it. You know, this is how long ago it was. Fax me the contract. Yeah. When was the last time you got a fax? Anyway, so they sent it over. I wasn't getting rich doing this workshop, but it was nice money and it was a door opener. And I had to now write a live version of my book. So I basically turned the book into a live workshop, 45 minutes, 50 minutes long. Okay. Now, this went very well. They liked it. Fortunately, I have a little bit of a gift as a public speaker. I think it was entertaining considering it's a very dry topic. Education is not the sexiest topic in the world, especially for a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds. Anyway, schools talk to each other. So that one assembly program led to another and another and another and another. And pretty soon I was doing two or three of these a week. And it was going great. Everything was cool. And so now I'm doing this. So I got my book. I got the live workshop. Okay. Got 2 products now. Because when I go to the workshops, guess what? If they don't have the book, how many kids you got at your school? 600. Cool. Let me bring 600 copies of my book. Sell them to you. Actually, I built it into the price of the workshop. Anyway, well, I came to realize pretty quickly, it's only one of me. Some people think that's a good thing. In fact, some people probably think that's one too many. But anyway, I kind of figured out a way to duplicate myself. So what I did was I hired a friend of mine who was a wedding videographer. That was his job. I said, can you come to this event I'm doing? It was actually at his school district's middle school. Can you videotape this thing? And I will pay you whatever you usually get for this stuff. I want to turn this into a video. Exactly what happened. It was exactly what happened. So he recorded it. He chopped it up, edited a little bit for me. Now, guess what? I got one product, a book. I got two products, which is second one being the video version. I'm going to mute everybody here. And number two, now I've got, I got the live version. Number three, I got a video version of my course. Well, flash forward a couple of years, I start blogging. I start podcasting. I start live streaming. It all came content-wise from one source. Okay. Why did I do this? And this is really kind of the point of the story. So these are all the things you can do. You get one idea. One idea. You can make a course. You can make a webinar. You can make a workshop. You can make a physical book. You can make ebooks, audiobooks, PDF, one-page giveaways, trifolds, live events, podcasts, live streams. And this probably is not even a complete list. Okay. So here's what I'm doing today. I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain and say, here's how I do this. I have the impetus for me doing this workshop was this is actually sort of a celebration. Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, but in the last year, it really accelerated. There has been an explosion of online information and the dissemination of it. And fortunately, people saw what I was doing. They reached out to me and I was able to pick up a lot of clients. And last month, end of October, I launched my 100th clients project. So to celebrate, I'm giving it all away. Okay. So here's what you're going to learn today. Keep it simple. When somebody hires me and engages me to help them, I have 7 steps I use to help them create a course. Now, I'm going to tell you all of them in the next about 40 minutes. I'm going to go kind of fast, but do not worry about writing all this down. You can take all the notes you want. I'm a note taker too, but I will send you the slide deck if you want. I will make available a video of this. So I'd rather you pay attention, focus, and if you have questions, obviously we'll get to that. Throw them in the chat. I'm going to pause at some points and take them, and we'll run from there. Okay, everybody cool? Good. All right. So here we go. Number 1, step number 1, identify your topic. Okay. Now, you're probably saying, duh, I couldn't create a project if it didn't have a topic. But it's not always quite that simple, because what's your goal? Okay. Like I could write a book. My wife makes outrageous chocolate chip cookies. I don't know if any of you know that or if any of you have had any of them, but they're unbelievable. I could write a whole book about how she does it. She's got this, like all these little secrets, and she won't tell anybody. But I know because I've watched her. She learned it from her mom. So like this family thing. It's like this insider thing. And but I could write a book about it. The question is, would anybody care? Would anybody buy it? Would it achieve my goals for creating this product? So what are the goals? Okay. Are your goals to monetize your product? Are you creating a course or a video or an ebook, an audiobook, or anything on that long list so you can sell it? Okay. Selling things are good, man. Selling things are good. Okay. Are you creating it to build your brand? Are you creating it to elevate your status as an SME, AKA subject matter expert, or all of the above? So you may want to consider what your topic is when you frame it around what your goal for creating it is, just like any collateral, any marketing collateral. So think about your target market and what they might want. When I wrote my book, I knew there was a demand for it because every day in my business, in my day job, I saw a need for it. The book was bred by me doing this 3-4 hours every day out of 6 hours, out of an 8-10 hour day of my business of tutoring and helping kids and educating them. So I knew there was a need. I didn't have to do any market research or anything to know that. But think about your target market. Now, I'm sure people write books because they're interested in the topic, or they write a novel because it's something that they like. But we're really focusing here on like a business, maybe sort of information course sort of product. So think about this. What do you want to create because it might interest you personally versus what would your audience want? And they do not have to be mutually exclusive. They can absolutely coexist. They can absolutely coexist. Okay. But if it was me coaching you, I say make sure you know what your audience wants, because that's important. So just think about for this for a second. I'm going to look in the chat, see what kind of questions we got. Try to clarify your course topic. Okay. What is it? Okay. You don't have to make a final decision now, but just based on what I said for the last few minutes, think about it. Okay. So just, if you want to throw in the chat, what's your topic? We had some really good ones yesterday. Holly's back. Holly's talking about teaching people how to invest in real estate, right? Bob is a video guy. Bob was about, hey, the value, I forget the exact title, Bob, but basically something like how to use video to market and build your brand, things like this. So if you want to do a shout out, just unmute yourself and we can do a little discussion here for a few minutes, but either throw in the chat or just scream it from the top of the mountains.
Just having some fun.
Oh. And what's your book about?
I've got a what do you call it, collab book. I'm still currently writing my solo. I did a collab book in like 2017, and my chapter is called From Orphan to CEO. So it's a little bit on my story and also my focus on what we're doing with the foster care system. It was literally right before we launched the From Orphan to CEO program. So it's been an interesting ride since writing that part.
Nice. Hey, little insider tip. Manny and I are both co-authors of a co-written book that's coming out next year.
Woot woot.
How cool
Coming
is that?
soon.
You know what an honor it is to be able to write a book with that guy? I'm not sure he's saying the same thing about me, but no, it's cool.
It's so definitely mutual love, my friend.
It is, yes.
That's why I'm here, man. I'm taking notes just as much as everyone else, hopefully.
There we go. All right, so here it is. Number 1, step 1 of 7. Clarify your course topic, okay? Think about it. This is like anything else. You don't build a house foundation well, house isn't going to be very good. If your topic isn't relevant or your topic isn't something you have a little bit of juice about, you're going to stall. I can tell you from seeing people go through this. All right, let's move ahead. Number 2, identify your target audience. Now, this is something you hear marketers talk about all the time, especially social media people. Who's your audience? Where do they live? Where do they hang out? Where are they? Physically or social media wise, or how do you reach them? What's their budget? What's their client lifespan? So let me break this down a little bit. Where are they? I think you could look at a lot of ways. The reason you want to think about this is if you're going to bother to create a course and you're going to market it, you want to think about how am I going to do that? Am I going to be social media centered? Am I going to be email centered? Am I going to be video centered? YouTube, whatever. A lot of ways you can do it nowadays, right? So how are you going to reach people? Now, you don't have to have this all clarified absolutely before you start your project, but it's a good thing to do. What's their budget? You do not want to create a high ticket product that you plan to sell for $3,000 or $4,000 if your target audience has a tolerance of a $200 or $300 product, or vice versa. If you got people that are willing to pay $1,500 to whatever $1,000, go for it. What's the lifespan? I get into lifespan because of this. Some people, especially coaches, you might have a client for years. You may have a client for years. So that one product that you invest a month or 2, 3 months into making, that might benefit you for years. And then they tend to tell people, happy clients spread the word. Here's a couple more other things to think about. Are they already your clients? Some people, they don't see the forest for the trees. And I got to be honest, I never quite understood what that saying meant. I mean, I do literally, but the message of it is they're so involved in like moving ahead. Hey, if you already have a business where you have 100 clients, why don't you create a product for them already? They already believe in you, right? They're going to be the easiest people to market to. There was a woman on yesterday who actually going to meet with one-on-one who has already thinks 200, 300 clients for her project. Okay. How do the people consume their content? Now, again, this goes in a little bit with where they live. Okay. But this is the subset. Okay. If I know my audience reads a book, if I know my audience like to listen, there's my podcast. When my audience wants to see things, there's video and any combination in between. How are these people connected, right? So if I got my video crowd over here, I got to produce one thing for them. I got my book crowd over here. I got to do something else for them. Can I get a way to bring them all together? And then finally, is this project you're going to do is because it's a hobby? I mentioned yesterday, I got a guy who's great. And one of my clients about chess, loves chess. It's what he does. It's his hobbies and chess clubs, online chess clubs. It's a lifestyle thing. Or is it business? Is it sort of an extension of what you do? And it all goes back to why are you doing it? You're going to monetize, you're going to build brand, you're going to try to make yourself more of a subject matter expert. So I'll keep flashing these a little bit. Okay. So take a minute here, clarify your ideal client. If you want to pop it in the chat, feel free. And here's why, because there's other people here and they may know people. And this is not really designed as a networking event, but I'm all about networking and collaboration. So if you want to pop who your ideal client is in the chat and somebody sees it and maybe they know somebody that they can intro you to, let's get it going. So take about 10 seconds here to do this. Grab a little water. All right. So far, so good. Everybody happy? Let me see what we got here. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. We got a very good looking group today, by the way. I'm not just saying that. All right. You ready to move on? Here we go. So that's steps 1 and 2. Let's talk about 3. What's your initial media? And yesterday this slide said, what's your media? And I had somebody that I had a pretty extensive text chat with after, and they said, well, I want to do all of them. I'm going to tell you, start with 1. Okay. Here's the list again. Course, webinar, workshop, physical book, ebook, audiobook, PDF, live event, pod stream, or podcast live stream, or something else that I didn't put on here. I would suggest you start with 1 and then morph into the next one and the next one. But let 1 be really solid. Let that spawn the second, like the story I told before about my book, into my live workshop, into my video class, into my blogging, into my podcasting, into my live stream. 1 spawned 5 others, a total of 6. And by the way, they're all still going pretty strong. So here's the thing. I call this repurposing. Okay. You start with 1, like the story I just told. You start with a book, you can repurpose into all the rest. So this is the shortest one of the 3. So think about it. What's your sequence? Where do you see your project going? Where do you see it starting? Maybe where do you see your second piece? And this presumes you're going to do this. You certainly don't need to go beyond 1. If this book has sold 85 million copies, I probably wouldn't have worried about making a workshop, but it didn't. It wasn't Harry Potter in terms of popularity. But my point is, all this is going to lead to what we're going to do next. This is all kind of pre-stuff, right? Because if you know you're going to start, I'll keep using my example with a book, and you know your second thing is live, it may, and probably likely will affect how you're going to create your original product. Okay. So let's do it. Let's go. Let's go into step 4. How are we going to create your future masterpiece? Number one. And when I'm working with people, I spend a lot of time on this with them. Create an outline. In my opinion, the worst way to create a product is to just start doing it at the beginning and then move. Almost like you're writing a paper in school. You don't want to just start in the beginning and just write, because random thoughts are going to start happening and you're going to start brainstorming in your own mind. Okay. So I would create an outline. How can you create an outline? You could whiteboard it. You could just get a big piece of paper. Whoa. Sorry about that. You get a big piece of paper and you could put it on your wall. You could put it on your wall and you can start writing on it. Or you could do it on a computer. Or you could do it on Post-it notes. I told a story yesterday. One of my clients, they got like 6 different color Post-it notes. Yellow, blue, pink, green. I forget the other ones. And they categorize it. So it's like main ideas are on the yellow Post-it notes, sort of subtopics are on the green ones. little details to fill it in on the pink ones, I think, I forget. And they just pick them up and move them around as they want to. You can make a flow chart. You can make a mind map. And this is something I demoed yesterday, which I'll be happy to do again in a second. So the point is, start with an outline, in my opinion. Just get brainstorm, because you may be thinking about your first chapter and then the fifth one, then the third one, then the sixth one, then the second one. And you don't want to be, oh my God, I got to work on chapter 1 right now. I can't worry about 4 yet. Well, meanwhile, that whole idea might have come and gone. So I would take a dedicated amount of time, day, week, month, whatever's appropriate in your thing. And I would just get it together. Now, it doesn't mean you can't add stuff to it later. And it doesn't mean everything in your outline is absolutely going to be in your final product. Doesn't really matter. And by the way, any project you're going to do does not have to be the next War and Peace or the next great Apocalypse Now 6-hour movie. This same process works just as beautifully for a 60-second video, the kind of things Bob can make. Okay. The same structural process works the same, whether it's a 60-second video or a 3-hour all day 6-hour workshop. The organizational framework of it works the same. So let me try to do a really quick example here. And I'm going to kind of do this on the fly. So let's say I'm brainstorming something. I want to make a video. Okay. I want to make a video to promote my workshop. Okay. So I'm going here. Okay. What's my why? I want to drive people to the workshop. Okay. What am I going to do? Well, one idea is, what's my value propositions? I'm not listing them yet. Number 2 is, what's my media? Number 3 is, what else would I want to know? What's my like details? So details are the easiest. When is it? Day, time. Where is it? Like the 5 W's sort of thing. Daytime, it's on Zoom. I got to record it. Sort of stuff like that. All right, what's my value proposition? 1, 7 steps. 7 steps thing. 2 is, I want to do a giveaway. I'm going to give you all a present at the end of this. Number 3 would be, I want to get input. Oh yeah, I forgot something. How am I going to get people to register? When they register, what do I want to do? Oh, I want to ask them to do a little survey. So some of you came in, texted me. You got a link back, fill out the survey. Now the survey, I didn't do that for my health. I did that because I wanted to learn about what people wanted. So when I put this together, I could sort of, without them knowing it, addressing and answering questions people wanted. So I got the survey. And then maybe over here, I got a direct follow-up. So some of you, maybe hopefully all of you, either got a couple of emails this week, got a text, and they'll continue to happen because I'll be happy. Like I said, this is how I'm going to do follow-up over the next thing. Now you can see in, I don't know, I didn't time this, 60, 80 seconds, 90 seconds. There's now a framework. So now what I would do is, okay, all right, let me talk about the 7 steps. Let's set that up. What are they? Now I know what they are, obviously, because I'm doing it. What's my giveaway? What's my input? Things like this. And so I start with my outline. Now I'm going to build from there. So maybe today, let me just get this done. Okay, got it. Oh, I got a half hour here. Let me write up how I'm going to collect input. Okay. Oh, tomorrow, let me do my survey. So instead of pigeonholing myself and sort of being forced to do this in some chronological sequence, I'm doing this more in what makes sense at that moment. And you circle back to the things over time. Okay. So here's your next activity real quick. Whoops. Oh yeah. Let's just go back 1 second to that masterpiece I have on the screen. Is that unbelievable? Yeah. Now, obviously it's messy. This is functional. This is not supposed to be art. This is supposed to be something that helps you. Now, I could have just easily done this on Post-it notes. I could have done this in a spreadsheet. It doesn't matter. The point is get your ideas, get them out there, and then fill in the details later. Okay. So here's a quickie for you. Just think about it. brainstorm an outline real quick. Let's say I said to you, okay, and I've done this with people. Okay, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to create a 30-second sales pitch for something. Okay, this is an activity I do when I work with people. Okay, I'm going to give you you got to present a 30-second thing. I want you to outline it. I want you to fill in some details, and I want you to deliver it. And if this was a 2 or 3 hour workshop, we would actually do this. I'd probably break people out into rooms, work on a little bit together, but try doing it on your own. And one of the things I'm going to try to do later is offer, well, I'm going to tell you, I'll give it away. My offer is I'm going to offer everybody a half-hour free consult to follow up. So if you want to try to do that, just create a little micro course, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. We'll talk about it in our consult if you want to do that, and I will help you frame it. Okay. So now step 5, we've created the outline. We've got the details. We've got our resources. We got whatever we need. Now we're going to put it together and package it really nicely as a final version. Okay. Some people, this is the hardest step because some people are very, very, very obsessive compulsive about everything being perfect. And I'm like 85% that way. Okay. But of course, if you're putting your name on it, you want it to be really good. But the final version, by the time you get to this, should be fairly simple to do because you've really done the work in your outline. So we're going to use our outline to develop our final product. Okay, make sense? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Let me get into some other considerations. And this is new. This was not in yesterday's workshop. So those of you who came back, for you, this is bonus material. For those of you who weren't there yesterday, this is you wouldn't know the difference. But here's some other considerations. And these are things you could put into the outline anywhere along the way. And these are all things I address when I'm working with somebody. Okay. Your media choice. If you're going to create a video compared, let's say, to a book, you may have different considerations when you plan it. The pacing of a video, the way you would do a video. Hey, videos are cool, right? You don't get that relationship with somebody in a book. A book is up to them to kind of put that emotion into it. So your media choice, your delivery choice, your direct or indirect end user interaction. These are things that you want to consider. I'm not sure the magnitude of it for each person in their own circumstance that you might want to consider when you're planning your course. Okay. So if you know you're going to do it in a certain media, that might affect how you outline it. That might affect certainly your final copy. And it's definitely going to affect your deliverability. And especially if you're selling it, end user experience is important. Honestly, I have helped people write, and they'll say it themselves, pretty crappy books, content-wise, but they look good. And you know why they did it? Not to write the greatest novel ever or the greatest nonfiction work ever. They did it because they were brand building. And just the fact that they had a book, how many books have people bought they never even open or read? I don't have a lot of them, but I have a few. Sometimes I'll see a book or I'm at a speaker event. Guy's got 5 books on his table. Hey, I'll buy your whole package. I loved your talk. Probably really good. But the point is that as long as the end user's happy, it's a good thing. So here's some other ideas. Do you want to have a single edition or do you want to make it episodic or serialized? So what does this mean? I told a story yesterday. I had a client who created a 12-part video course. She was a business coach, and it was kind of complicated actually, but it was a really very well done thing. What she did was she released one at a time. So the person would enroll, they would get one of the units, about a 20-minute video, but they couldn't get the second one till they completed that a quiz and a sort of an action step at the end of it. Sometimes it was something that just got monitored through the software. And for those of you who have been waiting for it, I'm going to get into platforms really soon. And some of them required them to get with her to actually do a 15-minute or 30-minute, or in some cases, hour-long meetup. Okay. So then they would get unit 2. They would do whatever the activity was at the end. What she was really doing was making sure that people were learning what they wanted to learn, what she wanted them to learn in the sequence that you wanted them to learn it. Okay. Now, of course, it may or may not work for you. Do you want to do content checks? It's kind of the same thing. No, sorry. Do you want to have a little quiz at the end of it? Now, some of this is platform dependent. Sometimes you just make a product and you're not really all that concerned about it. Okay. You want to have a call to action. Maybe at the end of your course. Hey, if you want to learn more, go to this website or text me at this number or whatever. You want to keep the loop going. Go to my social media page. Go to LinkedIn. Go to whatever. You want to have a way for people to follow up. You know where follow-up's classic? When you blog. I don't know if any of you blog, but when you blog, one of the things, or you podcast, one of the things you almost always do is you say, hey, if you like this podcast, please share it. Please put some comments in there. Why? Because the Googles of the world love comments. It shows interaction, shows engagement. They love that. And it increases your SEO searchability and all that stuff that frankly, I don't completely understand, but I know it's out there and it's real. So you want to include, again, these are all things to think about including. All right, here's some other things. Yeah, you've created your project, right? But you also want to create an abstract. So maybe you wrote a book's 90 pages long, but you want to write a 1 or 2 paragraph short version of it that you might throw in social media or throw in your marketing or throw in emails that you use to market. So these are all sort of sidebars. Do you want to create about the author? Oh, look at that. Look at the back of my book. There's a little bit about me. And a very handsome picture of myself. I don't say so myself. So somebody had to write that. That didn't just materialize. Do you want to refer to other work? This is a biggie. Probably isn't going to happen as much, obviously, in your first course. But let's say you start to do a series. Let's say I got 5 books out there. The 5th one should absolutely reference the first 4. Not necessarily in the book itself, maybe at the end, in your call to action. Hey, if you like this book, here's other books by the author. You see this. These are not things I invented. People do this all the time. But because it works, okay? Remember, we're trying to build brand here. And contact methods. How do you want to get people to get a hold of you? If you write it, I published my book in 2015. Okay. I have my email in here. Now, shut the door. In 2015. Well, what if my email changed? Somebody bought it in 2020. I got a problem. They're trying to reach me. Maybe they want to hire me. Who knows what they want to do? Okay. But the point is they can't get a hold of me if it isn't current. So if you're going to put a contact method, you probably want to get something that you intend to be somewhat permanent. All right. So here's the thing. Whoa. If you think about what I just went through, what do you think? Okay. I'm kind of flash these every like 5 seconds to give you a chance here. So just some ideas. And again, the whole idea is not that you're furiously taking notes. The idea is that this is supposed to be jogging ideas. Okay. So which of these things are important to you? What do you want to consider in your planning stage of your course? Okay, so I'll go one more loop through. And I have to do this manually, by the way. I'm getting like a blister on my finger from hitting the mouse so much. Nah, just kidding. All right. And step 6. Now the rubber hits the road and your course or whatever you're going to make is going to get published. Okay. It's going to get published. This is what we've been building up to. This is the moment of truth. All the work, all the anxiety, all the angst, potentially all the joy comes together when you publish. So now what's your platform, right? Whoops. Where's it going? So this is something everybody was loud and clear. Let's talk about this today. So let me throw this out there. Again, there's a lot here. Some of this might be gibberish to you, but these are some platforms I have used personally or have put my people on. Just a disclaimer. I don't have any, this actually isn't completely true. With the exception of one of these, I have absolutely no financial gain by telling you about these. The exception to that is Thinkific, because they sort of force you to be an affiliate. But these are all-in-one hosting options. These are 5. Self-host, you could do it on your website, but these are all places you could create a course, typically a video one, but it doesn't have to be, it could be text-based. And they would host it. They have shopping carts. It's like an all-in-one option. Upside of them, it's all in one. Downside is, guess what? They can get pricey. Pricey like $400 or $500 a month. Pricey. You might say, that's not a lot of money. You might say, oh my God, can't afford that. I would say every one of them has advantages. Every one of them has disadvantages depending on your flavor. Personally, my stuff's on Samcart. It doesn't mean it's better than all the others. Just the way I like and their front dashboard and stuff, I just think is simple. Kajabi is a great one. Very, very popular. Thinkific, I was on Thinkific for a while, but I switched because there were some things, I didn't really dislike it. I just thought it was easier. And my subscription had run out. Sorry. And I had a chance to get a good deal with Samcart. So these are some places you could host a course. Now, of course, you have a book. Physical book is not hosted, but I'm going to get into that too. Here's some software tools to help you create. Okay. You want to record something. I love ScreenFlow. I'm a Mac guy. ScreenFlow is basically a Mac program. The equivalent on the Windows platform is Camtasia. Very strong piece of software. I'm going to guess about $200 for Camtasia, full version. You can also use Zoom, which is free. Downside of Zoom is the quality isn't quite as good. The HD level isn't quite as good. StreamYard's another one, subscription service, better audio, better video. Hey, next one. I love Dragon Speech. You know what it does? You talk, and then on the screen it prints it. You want to write a book? When I blog, I don't type blogs out anymore. I dictate them. What's cool with it too is you can dictate it into a phone, like as a audio, what do you call it? Like a voice recorder message. And then you just upload the file and it transcribes it for you. It's pretty cool. Love the tech. This demo is made in Slides. It's a free program. What a Google Suite, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all that. So these are some things you can use to create. Here's some more. I love Evernote. Notes is free. Notes is the one on your phone. There is a Lotus Notes, which is paid, but Evernote's a way to just collect information, clip web pages, drop pictures in, audio, all kinds of cool stuff. Not expensive, over every platform. Really good program. I use it almost 100% of the time. I recommend that my clients use it because they can share it. So they can give me access into their Evernote. And I can kind of monitor things. You could also use a Google Doc. I actually didn't put that on there, but you could. If you're looking to podcast, I use Blueberry, and that is how you spell it. I didn't leave out the E. That's actually how they spell it. I have a lot of friends who use Buzzsprout or Anchor or multiple ones. Typically, you're going to have one primary place to host a podcast, but you can kind of put into secondary ones as well. Blueberry is just really good. It interfaces beautifully with websites, especially WordPress sites. And the people that run it are podcasters, so they get it. Here's some software tools as well. If you want to live stream, I use StreamYard. You could actually use Zoom if you want to StreamYard into StreamYard. If you want to stream into Facebook or YouTube, you can use YouTube directly. YouTube has a live. Book publishing. I published my book in CreateSpace. CreateSpace was a standalone company. They were bought by Amazon. Not that that's such a big shock because they buy pretty much everything, but they were bought by Amazon, who actually outbid Google. Can you believe it? Google got bid on something. Now they're integrated into Amazon. So if you want to sell on Amazon, really, really easy. Outskirt Press, BookBaby, EBL. I think that's actually what it's called. It's actually Electronic Book Library, EBL. But these are all places you can publish. And books you can publish in multiple places. And I'd encourage you to do it if you got a book. Here's some more. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Hardware. Now listen, if you are going to create a video or something that is dependent on the hardware and the software you're using, don't neglect to invest in the hardware. If you're going to spend the time to try to create a first-rate, especially video-based product, you're going to charge any amount of money on $300-$400 or something. Don't go too low end on your hardware. To do it on a pair of like earbuds with a little tiny condenser mic, it is really not that great. For a Zoom meeting, yeah, nobody's really caring. But if you're trying to get a high-end audio and high-end video, I'd invest some money in your hardware. You'll get use out of it way, way beyond just creation. It's just better. It sounds better. It looks better. Lighting just as well. So these are exactly what I use. I got a MacBook Pro. The computer, I think, is less the issue. This mic here, I'm not using right now. This is a Yeti Blue. You know, a lot of people use it. Really nice mic. This one I'm on right now is called a Rode Pod Master. It interfaces really, really well with my processor, which is called a Rodecaster Pro. Lighting, you can't see them because they're on the other side, but it's called Viltrox. They're 5,000 series. They got all kinds of 1,000, 2,000. They got 10,000 series. These are all things you can look at. You can buy them anywhere. Probably everything on this page, well, not the computer, the mic, the lighting, and the processor, you're probably, I'm going to say in the $500-600 range. Again, you don't need them all. You can do it without. But my contention is if you're going to really seriously produce a high-end product, you want to do it with good materials. So all that stuff I just listed, what do you think is the most important thing of all? You're the course producer, right? You're controlling this. You got to bring your passion. You got to bring your juice to your product. Okay. It especially in live stuff. If I go on a live stream, hey people, I'm doing a course next week on how to create a course. You want to come, right? It's going to be really exciting. People tell me they want to make courses, but they don't know how. So I'm going to show you. I mean, who's going to sign up for that? I got to listen to an hour of that guy droning like that. Now, of course, you don't have to be super frenetic either. Hey, I got a course next week. It is fantastic. Just be real. Be yourself, right? And I'm not here to coach people on how to present themselves. That's not my thing. But I'm just telling you, and I know this from teaching. I remember when I had a mentor when I was in graduate school, and I was doing work to become a college professor. And he said, you always got to be 25% more excited than your students because they're going to filter it out because they're bored. Oh, this is really stupid. I'm going to learn this. But my point is, you are really, in a way, the product here. Obviously, it's going to get out there. But when you got your name on something, right, you want people to know what's behind it. Okay. All right. So who is ready? And we're going to wrap this up in a little bit. Who's ready to monetize? Who is ready to build brand? This is the 7th step. Who's ready to become a subject matter expert? Here's some bonus ones. Who might want to use the notoriety they get to become a speaker or a keynote speaker? Maybe even do a TED Talk. Manny is a great TED Talk coach. Fantastic. Maya is her name. Who wants to maybe teach and coach? Maybe you're already doing it already. Maybe you want to expand it. Who wants to run masterminds? Because if you're a subject matter expert, that's the next natural step. Who wants to collaborate with other people? I mentioned before, I'm co-authoring a book. It's pretty cool. You know, and what else? There is no limit to this. But it all starts with making a commitment, having a plan. In my case, the 7 steps I showed you, putting them into action, getting focused, and getting it done. And here's what I'm going to offer here. Anybody wants it? You might have got sick of me already, but I'm happy to meet with anybody for 30 minutes. And if you know me, 30 minutes usually turns into longer. Bob and I got on a Zoom last night. I was like, hey, Bob, I got one quick question for you. We were on what, an hour, Bob? I forget. Yeah. But I'm willing to listen. This is my offer. You got the content. If somebody coming out of nowhere hired me or whatever, they would get the same info. So I will be happy. I would suggest try to work through some of these exercises we had. So when we have our consult, we can discuss them. And here's how you reach me. Again, I started out by this, but some people got a little bit late. I'm a direct communication person. Okay. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find my profile there. I'm on Facebook. You can find my profile there. I'm on Twitter. You can find my stuff there. I'm on Instagram. Hardly. I don't know how to use it, but I'm there. But you really want to get hold of me, bang, there's the number. So just text me, hey, let's set it up. Let's make it happen. I mean, I get back to you immediately. Don't get upset if it takes me half a day to get back to you. Typically by the next morning, I'll get back to you. That is it. I'm going to open it up here. Anybody has any questions? We got about 9 minutes here. Maybe we'll go over a tiny bit. I do have a client a little bit, so I can't take too long. But let's go back full screen here and see if anybody has anything to add. So just unmute yourself if you want to say something or whatever, and I will try to give you some sagacious answers.
Yeah, thanks for the breakdown on the platforms. Most of those I didn't even know of. So definitely really informative there. Because the way I usually do my stuff, I keep it like the most simplest possible way. Like if it's video, I just give them a YouTube link. And if it's written like a PDF, I just upload it to Google Drive and I'll make it into a button somewhere, like on my website or my platform. So, having it to where it's streamlined like this, having a system that they can kind of map it into, or even just to keep it simple, right? I mean, you break it down pretty easily.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get the feedback I've gotten is there's a few reasons why people want to do these things and don't. Okay. One is, well, reason zero is they don't have a system and they don't have somebody kind of coaching them through it. But let's just say that they're very, very, very self-motivated. Sometimes they just don't have the right tools. I mean, anybody can write a book, I guess, because you have pencil, but some of the more technological stuff, blogging, not super tech, but video creation, podcasting. I mean, you do need to know what your platform is going to be, and you have to have the tech to support it. So the publishing side is really more the platform dependent thing. It used to be you kind of had to plan your course almost based on the platform you were going to go on. That was one of the big knocks on Kajabi, actually, was they forced you to present a course a certain way, which is basically their way. And it wasn't even that bad. It was just very kind of one way, and that was it. And if you didn't want to create your course that way, you were sort of stuck. Now that's changed. They've loosened that up, but it can still happen. So, but yeah, the platforms. And again, I didn't do that yesterday, and it wasn't because I was trying to withhold anything from anybody. I just had so much stuff I was trying to get through, and I didn't want to just. Maybe I did that today anyway, but yeah. And again, I will make all this available, the slide deck, the video from both days, if people want it. So you don't have to sit here and try to, memorize everything. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Annie, you're welcome. Annie, I think you were here. You're a 2-day veteran here, right? I think you were here yesterday. Bob, what a nice comment. Today was even more informative than yesterday. Wow. He's not just saying that. Bob doesn't just give compliments like that. Are you sending that recording? Yes. All right, we're doing well here. Anyone have anything else they want to add or questions or whatever?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
I thought your presentation was great. It was very interesting, informative. One of the things I was interested in primarily is what about the question of ownership? That is, you let things out in the marketplace, you let things out either through live or written. Is it copyrighted? Do you do something to protect it, or do you not care and just let it go because it doesn't, quote, matter?
Excellent question. I'm going to preface it by saying I'm not an intellectual property attorney.
Sure.
So I'm not here to counsel you on trademarks or how to get them, although my book is copyrighted. Okay. So there's different ways it works. Copyrights are for some things and trademarks are for other things. I would say this. Mm-hmm. If you made it and you own it, you might as well put a little bit of cash into protecting it. That doesn't mean somebody's going to try to rip you off. Okay. Because information is very easy to duplicate. Yeah. And I had a friend who wrote a whole course, and somebody literally bought the course and then essentially cloned it and claimed they made it.
Oh, goodness.
And the way he found out was that somebody basically went to him and said, hey, is your course like this other guy's course? Now, the other guy honestly was a better marketer than my friend. He had much more flashy sales page and he had videos. I had testimonials. I honestly sounded made up. It might have been, but so he had no recourse because he had not protected it. Now he did have what they call first use. And again, I only know this because my stuff I've had to defend my copyrights and my trademarks. So the fact that I had this book and it's out there and I, kind of did stuff with it and I can prove it, if it ever got to a trial or a hearing, I would have advantage of first use. But here's the pain in the neck, Jan. It's up to you to defend your property. So somebody could rip my course off and I got to be the one to pay the legal fees to get them to stop. And you can try to recover that as part of the settlement or whatever. And usually you get it, but it could take months or years. And it's a big pain in the rump. So short answer to your question is I think it's very smart to consult with intellectual property people. I have two I really enjoy working with. I'd use one for my book and the other one kind of specializes in online content. So I could refer to him. I also know a tech guy. If you're going to create like a tech product, like an app or a web-based something you're doing that way. So I haven't used him personally, but I know him. Really excellent question. Not something I was really going to address today, but you brought it up and it's really good.
Thanks.
Another question? Anyone else? Anthony, Angie, Holly, Annie, Miss Jennings, or Kate? All right. If there's no questions, Manny, you got anything you want to add?
I'm good here, brother. We did a great event here. Good job.
Well, merci beaucoup. And just to be clear, it might take me a little bit. I will process this. Let's do this. If you did not, well, since it's different, let's do this. Let me put this back up here. If you would like the slides for today, okay, do this. Text to that phone number and just put slides 2. Okay. The only reason I'm asking you to do that is because if you were there yesterday, I don't want to necessarily send you the slide deck from the first day. I just cloned it and added things to it. All you got to do is pull out your phone, 215-808-7674. And I got a good story about that phone number if anybody cares, but I may tell it in a second. And just say slides 2. You don't have to do anything beyond that. Just by the way, my phone number, when I went to Verizon to get the phone number, I said, do you have anything that ends in 7676? And why? I'm from Philadelphia. 76 is a big number around here. Basketball teams are 76ers. The whole 1776 with Liberty Bell and Declaration of Independence. By the way, if anybody comes to Philadelphia, it really is a good place to visit. Anyway, so they said, yeah, we got 808-7676. I'm like, cool, man. I'm sold. Sign me up. And then when I get my phone home, it was a different number. I argued with them for 3 months. I was so mad. Whatever. The things that happen in our lives. Anyway, that's my number, but that's the story. All right. I think I'm going to count this down and wrap it up. I want to thank Manny for helping me promote this and host this. And if you don't know Manny, man, he's a go-to guy for so many things. And number's not in the chat. Okay, here we go. Hang on. 215-808-7674. Dos uno cinco ocho zero ocho siete seis siete cuatro. Not that, huh? High school Spanish paying off. I think that was right. Somebody might want to fact check me on the numbers in the Spanish. Well, bueno. Yes. Muchas gracias, Ani. All right. Hey, I want to really thanks everybody again. I'm here to try to help you. Reach out. Let's set up that consult. We'll see where you want to go. Some of you have some really, really good ideas. And there's, do a little bit of research, but I think, there's between everybody saying yesterday, 30, 40 really good courses just waiting to be made. So that is it. Oh, we got our second request for slides. Very cool. Don't get upset if you don't get them until tomorrow, but that's it. Bob, you got a question? Here, hang on.
No question, just saying goodbye. Thank
my
you
you
for
are
a
muted
great
hat.
lesson today.
When I run a networking meeting, I got to put this hat on every once in a while. All right, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. Thanks again, everyone. And good luck with everything if I don't hear from you, but hopefully I will hear from you and we'll roll from there. Let me stop the recording.